Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today I'm sharing with you day 10 of our art journaling challenge from Art Joy of Sharing Art Community on Facebook. This is snarky quotes and it's hashtag AJ Snark Attack 2020, and there will be a quote for every day in October 2020, as well as a video on my channel and on Peg Robinson's channel every day for October 2020. So this is day 10. This is my 10th page for this event. And I saw a shirt that had, it was an advertisement for a shirt somewhere, I don't know, it was on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, but it had this really funny illustration of a cat. And I had this quote, which I had typed up on just a regular piece of paper from our quote list, and I made it larger and bolder so that I could use them on my pages. And this one says, "I'm not great at advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment?" Which I thought was funny. And I thought that this weird little cat illustration that looks something like this would be perfect for that. The cat's being really funny and goofy, and I thought it was perfect. So I went ahead and used a graphite pencil to draw my illustration onto my page. And then I decided that what I needed was some color and interest in the background. So I decided today to use all Dina Wakley gloss sprays and paints. She designs for Ranger products, so these are made by Ranger. So I needed to protect my cat somewhat, so I used a piece of scratch deli paper and cut out a little shape just to cover up the main body of the cat. And then I also wanted to protect the pages next to this page because I'm going to use sprays, and also underneath. So I filled all the spaces. I tried to cover all the spaces that I could. I ended up getting gloss spray all over my phone, all over my table, all over my scissors, this basket that that is sitting there. Sprays, I have a spray box that's just like a cardboard box that I lined with wax paper, and I should have got that out and put it in there, but I didn't. So I just was messing around with these gloss sprays. They are sticky. I'm going to have to put some beeswax furniture polish over this page before I close the book, because it will stick to the other side, I think. It's very glossy and sticky. In fact, a lot of acrylic products that have a gloss to them are tricky in your art journals because your pages want to stick together. But there's this product called Daddy Van's beeswax furniture polish, and if you just rub on a very light coat of that over your page, it doesn't disturb anything and it seals up the page so that the pages won't stick. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this one. So I used 3 different colors of spray: a turquoise-ish color, an cheddar orange color, and the pink, the light magenta pink color. Sprayed the background. Then I'm using a stencil. This is a Stencil Girl stencil designed by Kat Kerr. It's got mark making stuff on it. And I'm using that with the peacock turquoise color and then some white to make a few designs on the background, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And I know that most of it's going to be covered up because I've got to paint the cat and I'm going to put that quote. So I'm not overly concerned. I just wanted some pattern and color in the background. And I wanted to get this page done quickly because I need to go and do some baking for my son's birthday party tomorrow. So just wanted to get it done. When I went to take off the mask that I put over the cat's body, I did have a little bit of trouble. It actually glued it down. Anywhere that the gloss spray got underneath, the paper was stuck. It was really stuck. So I ended up having to peel it off with my fingers. And then wherever there was like a little edge that didn't get covered, I just used the plastic straw on the inside. I just opened the spray, took the thing off, and it has a plastic straw that goes down inside to suck up the spray. And I just went along the edges and filled in those areas where I had masked it out. just to make sure that the color goes all the way to the edges. Now I didn't mask the tail because it's just too long and thin, and I knew the mask wasn't going to stay on there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of white gesso in areas where the spray went over the illustration. Just quickly, a little bit of white gesso, so that when I paint with acrylic paint, if any of the paints that I use aren't completely opaque, then everything underneath will be the same. It will be white, right? Because the page was mostly white, and so by painting the tail white with gesso, then I have an equal, it's all equal when I start to paint the cat. I'm going to use Dina Wakley's heavy body paints. I end up using the night color, the peacock color, some white, and some black in the end. And I mix them together to make different colors as I'm going. So this is the night color. It's almost black. It's one of my favorite colors from the Dina Wakley line. It's just a really cool color. It's similar to Payne's Gray, but it's a little bit more warm than Payne's Gray. It's just really dark blue. It's a great color. Out of her line, this color and the cheddar color are my favorites. They're just interesting colors that are different than what you normally have. I like them a lot. And then I also have this peacock blue. I've got a bit of white to mix in. The white and the black are Liquitex Basics paints because I don't have white and black in Dina's paints. But everything else is all Dina Wakley colors on this page between the gloss sprays and the paints. So I'm just mixing and blending and putting shading and highlights where I think they would be on this cat. I'm trying to make one of those. I want to use interesting colors, but I'm trying to make a gray tabby cat, one of those ones that is gray on the top with kind of like tiger stripes and then is white on its belly. So I'm sure you've seen the kind of cat I'm talking about. So that's what I'm making, but I'm using blues and turquoise and then a mixture of white and blue, which is making this kind of warm gray color. When I mix them together, it's almost purple. So that night color must have a lot of red in it because when I mixed it with white, it gave me this purplish gray, which is also a cool color, periwinkle-ish kind of color. So I'm trying to keep the underside of the cat light colored because that's where the white would go all down its body and even on the insides of its legs, on the insides of its back legs. And then the top of the cat would be dark. So when the cat is in such a strange position as this, yeah, you have to really think. You have to use your brain a little bit to figure out where the colors would be. And then he has like patches on his face around his eyes. His ears would be dark, circles around the eyes, kind of patches. He's got a really goofy look. He's got a big smile, and one eye is open and one eye is shut. It's a funny little illustration. It's a goofy. So I'm using a small flat brush for most of this painting, and then I end up getting out a round, very pointed brush, almost like a watercolor brush, to do some of the illustration lines, which I did not do with a pen this time. Probably my normal idea would be to get out a Posca pen and do, the stripes and the illustrations with that, but I decided that I would show that you don't have to do that. You can continue to paint with a brush for this entire project. You don't need pens at all. I'm just lazy. And so the Posca pens are acrylic paint, so they work really well with acrylic paint, writing over acrylic paint, which a lot of pens just don't want to write over acrylic paint. It's too plasticky, and the pens with other types of inks just are like, nope, we're not going to write over that. So Posca pen or Arteza paint pens that are acrylic or the water-based Sharpies. Those work well with acrylic paint. But I'm just using a little brush and I'm making some fur stand up on the cat's back and some fur on its tail, little illustration marks with a very fine tip of the brush, and then also going around and making the lines around that delineate where the different parts are, and touching up the face and the mouth and the eyes and everything. So I hope you've been enjoying hashtag AJ Snark Attack 2020. You can use that hashtag anywhere on social media to find pages that people have been making. Also, you can come and join our Art Joy of Sharing Art community on Facebook. There's a link below the video. If you do ask to join, please don't ignore the questions that pop up. You need to answer the questions or you will not be accepted, because that's our way of making sure that we don't get a bunch of spammers in there that are just there for their own interests and not for sharing. Our group is to share art with other people, where you can share your pages and see what other people have made using these snarky quotes. And there's lots of archives in there of things to look at too. So it's a great place to come and join us. Just make sure that you answer the questions. That's all we ask. Also, if you're enjoying this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And you can share this on Pinterest. You can leave me a comment or a question, which I usually answer within 24 hours. And you can, I don't know, do all those things. And that helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube understand that I'm making something that you find valuable and that maybe other people will too, so they will recommend my videos. That's how my channel grows. So I'm finished painting the cat, and now I'm going to put on the words. I'm not great at advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment? That's so me. That's very me. As I was doing it, you see that I made a little mess there. I have this baby wipe that I was pressing down the pages with, and I got a little bit of black on it, and I got some on one of the pieces of paper that I was gluing down, but I didn't panic. I just wiped it back as much as I could with the baby wipe, and then I added some of that same grayish black smear onto the other two pieces, and then it looked like I meant to do it, right? Because I meant to do that. And then I just went around the edges with that same brush and some black just to bring out those 3 pieces of paper that had the words. And then I just did some little splatters with the cheddar and the magenta colors by using the inside of the sprayer like I did with the plastic. I did touch up just a tiny bit on the face with some white Posca, and then I was done. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.